Hello, my Tamil friends. Anuradha Mittal, the founder and executive director of the Oakland Institute in California, USA, and an internationally renowned expert on human rights, agriculture, development and security policies, has published her insightful view of the genocide and Sinhalese occupation that took place and is taking place in the northeast of Sri Lanka, the Tamil Elam. Here is the full video of her presentation.
I'm honored to be a panelist at the parallel event on Sri Lanka at the 53rd session of the United Nations Human Rights Council. The bloody civil war that ravaged Sri Lanka for 26 years officially ended in 2009. 14 years later, a silent war is waged under a different guise. It is a continued displacement of Tamil people from their lands and homes through government schemes and persistent military occupation of the northern and eastern provinces. The Oakland Institute is aware of the controversy around the use of the word genocide. However, we believe that there is enough solid evidence to call this persistent cycle of violence and cultural and identity annihilation of the Tamils a genocide. The occupation of lands through military and so-called development schemes is not about security or development. As evidenced by the research of the Oakland Institute, recent land grabs perpetuate and build upon decades-long history of marginalization of the Tamil population, involving massacres, pogroms, repressive laws, and a government-orchestrated colonization of the northern and eastern parts of the island nation that used to constitute Tamil homeland. This deliberate process of stripping Tamil people of their culture, land, and livelihoods, significantly altering the demographic makeup of these regions, is driven with the intent to completely annihilate the Tamils and their presence in Sri Lanka. In the decade following independence, the takeover of land and displacement started via development projects and irrigation schemes, which colonized the Tamil lands through the settlement of thousands of Sinhalese brought from the southern part of the country. Beyond the destruction of Tamil livelihoods and the takeover of their land and water resources, this colonization involved a systematic war on Tamil culture, language, and religion. The first major project to be implemented was the Gal Oya scheme in the eastern province near Batticaloa. This project used 120,000 acres of land and created 40 colonies. In the first wave of colonization, the government resettled 20,000 Sinhalese here. Only 6 of the 40 colonies belonged to Tamils. The residents of these 6 colonies were forced off the land during anti-Tamil pogroms, which began on June 5, 1956. Even today, Sinhalese settlers occupy the land of these 6 colonies. Trincomalee is the ancient holy city of Tamil homeland. In the 1920s, the Sinhalese comprised less than 5% of the total population. Under the guise of irrigation projects and colonization schemes, such as the Kantalai, Alai, Padavia, and the Moraveva scheme, thousands of Sinhalese were brought in. Today, the population of the Sinhalese in the eastern province has increased by over 40 times. Similar colonization happened under the Mahaveli Development Program, a massive irrigation scheme launched in the 1960s that favored the settlement of the Sinhalese in the Tamil majority areas of the north and east. According to government statistics, under the 10 schemes of the Mahaveli, land was distributed to over 100,000 Sinhalese families and to only 1,825 Tamil families and 3,068 Muslim families. A massive Sinhala settlement was established in the ancient Tamil area of Manalaru in the Mullaitivu district. In 1984, the army forcibly evicted 13,000 Tamil families and resettled 3,364 Sinhalese families here. To date, the Tamil families expelled have not been allowed to return to their homes and lands. Over 25,000 acres of land have been expropriated to create the Manalaru Veli Oya Sinhala Divisional Secretariat. The Manalaru area was transformed into a Sinhala region and renamed Veli Oya in Sinhalese. The Veli Oya Sinhala settlement's primary purpose was to dismantle the Tamil people's contiguous settlement in the northern and eastern provinces. Whereas land colonization and Sinhala settlements have taken place in Sri Lanka under the guise of development since independence, our research also points to continued land grabbing in recent years. Over the past 14 years, the process of Sinhalization has intensified with an aggressive government-led effort that systematically replaces Tamil culture and history with victory monuments dedicated to Sinhalese hegemony and Buddhist religion on the ruins of the Tamil homeland. The Sinhalization of the northern and eastern provinces involves the establishment of Sinhala signboards, streets newly renamed in Sinhala, multiple monuments to Sinhala war heroes, war museums, and the construction of Buddhist temples, even in areas where no Buddhists live. Thousands of acres of land have been confiscated to allow the settlement of the Sinhalese in traditional Tamil areas. In particular, large-scale Sinhalese settlements are taking place in the border areas of Vavuniya and Mullaitivu districts through the Kivul Oya and Malavatu Oya irrigation projects under the Mahaveli Authority. This is facilitated by the military and different government departments, including the Housing Authority, Forest Department, Wildlife Department, and the Archaeological Department. The main objective of this colonization is to increase the Sinhalese population in the north and east to change the demographics of the region. One clear tactic has been to divide the geographically and ethnically connected northern and eastern provinces and erase the homeland doctrine of the Tamil people. The state machinery is in full swing to convert historic lands, monuments, and places of worship of the Tamil people to Buddhist temples, Buddhist culture and practice at a greater pace than it was even in 2015. The government is expropriating private and state land for distribution to Buddhist temples. Land grabbing under the guise of archaeological excavations has also increased throughout the north and east. Between 2009 and 2021, 67 Buddhist temples were set up in Mullaitivu district alone under the Archaeological Department. In the Mullaitivu district, the Forest Department has expropriated 34,000 acres of land, while the Wildlife Department has claimed over 21,000 acres. 14 years after the end of war, large number of troops remain in the region. In the Mullaitivu district alone, the military has acquired more than 30,000 acres of public and private land, which is about 15% of the land available for public use. There are at least 7 army camps and 5 naval bases located just 15 kilometers from the village of Alampil to the village of Kokilai in Mullaitivu. Military camps, buildings, and restricted areas are found in various places where no visitor to the northeast can travel freely despite the end of the war in 2009. 5 of the 7 Sri Lankan Army's regional headquarters are located in the north and eastern provinces. According to our estimates, there is a ratio of 1 soldier for every 6 civilians in the north and east. While the Sri Lankan government has repeatedly stated that the LTTE poses no more threat to national security, the massive military presence provides security for Sinhalese settlements while facilitating the Sinhalization process and keeping the population in the north and east under constant repression and intimidation. Our research demonstrates that the government's activities align with the characteristics of an ethnocratic state, aiming to maintain the supremacy of the Sinhalese across Sri Lanka. Land grab activities to create this ethnocratic state by annihilating the Tamil continue even since the end of the war. Expropriation of the lands of Tamil population should garner the immediate attention of the United Nations and the international community. Sri Lankan government's claim that Sri Lanka does not have an ethnic issue is a blatant lie, which denies a manifest policy of colonization and marginalization and genocide of Tamil people. There is an immediate obligation on the part of the United Nations and international community to innovate a safety mechanism to monitor, protect, and promote the human rights of ethnic Tamil communities. This includes the appointment of a special rapporteur on land rights for minority groups in Sri Lanka and establishment of field presence of the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights in the North and East to monitor and record ongoing human rights violations. This is a vital moment for the future of Sri Lanka and also for international human rights law. The human rights situation in Sri Lanka will not improve until the culture of impunity is replaced with a culture of responsibility, accountability, and fulfillment of full rights of the Tamil community. Ensuring that this happens should be a responsibility and not a political dilemma for the international community. Thank you.
Thank you again, Anne. Goodbye. Until I join you in the next news, your Priya Tharsini. Thank you and goodbye now.